Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I would love to have you subscribe, like, comment, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. So today's video is going to be a collab. I am collabing with two of my best friends and my soul sisters, Steph from Not Your Basic Steph and Katie from Makeup for Lost Time. Now, Steph and I, we have collabed together many times on our channels, and we have a series of collabs that will be coming up soon, so please keep an eye out for that. Steph and I are pretty convinced that we were separated at birth, a few years apart and in two separate countries. She is the British version of me, and I am the American version of her. Steph is my best friend. She is my soul sister. She is my mentor. She's been there for me through a lot of things in my life since I've met her, and she is absolutely beautiful. She is so talented. She creates the most beautiful eye looks. I don't even know where she comes up with this stuff half the time. I watch her videos and I'm like, how did you even think of that? I mean, she's just beyond anything I could ever dream of being. Now, Katie, she and I met through her channel on YouTube, obviously, several months ago. I think over a year ago now, maybe close to 2 years ago. And she and I just instantly formed this very strong bond with one another. We would just go crazy chatting with each other in the comment section of her videos. And then we ended up exchanging phone numbers. We talk on the phone, we text, and you know, sometimes we'll go a while without talking to each other because we're both busy with our lives. But it doesn't matter how much time has passed. The minute I pick up the phone and talk to Katie, it's like we picked up right where we left off. And I just love her so much. She is such a wonderful friend to me. She is also extremely beautiful and so freaking talented. I mean, her blending skills are beyond anything I could ever dream of having. And to be honest with you guys, I was a little intimidated to collab with both of these women at the same time. But you know what? I got my big girl pants on. I'm ready to go for it. So Katie came up with the idea of a collaboration of queens. And we have the perfect palette in common to go along with that theme. And then there's a little bit more that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, kind of what we're basing our looks on. So this is the palette that we're all going to be using. This is the palette that we all have in common. This is the P. Louise Watch the Queen Conquer palette. Now, I just got this for my birthday. My dear, beautiful, amazing friend Danielle, she sent this to me from the UK. And she kind of fibbed to me. She said, I'm going to be sending you a used copy of the Beauty Bay Book of Magic palette because I have always really wanted that palette. And I was like, oh my gosh, how exciting. Thank you, Danielle. You don't have to do that, but thank you so much. And so when this came in the mail, it was in this huge package. And I thought, that's weird because I don't think the Beauty Bay Book of Magic palette is that large. So when I opened up the packaging and saw what was inside, I literally started to cry. This palette is so gorgeous and it's kind of expensive. I can't believe Danielle did that for me. The generosity that she has shown me is just beyond what I could ever dream of. Danielle, thank you so very much. I love you with all of my heart. And I love you even if you had never sent me this palette. I hope you know that. So this is just amazing. It's got beautiful packaging. It opens like a chessboard. Isn't that cool? Oops. Isn't that cool? I love it. And then when you open up this side, we have the pinks and purples, just absolutely beautiful color story. I use this palette now, what, 5 or 6 times, and the quality just blows my mind. This might be my favorite palette that I've ever owned or ever used in my entire life. And then we have this side as well. And this side has the reds and oranges and yellows, maybe a little bit of green, kind of goldy green, and then some browns. I mean, the options are endless with this palette, and the quality, I know I've already said that, is just impeccable. I am so happy that she sent me this palette, and I cannot wait to use it again in this video today. So to go along with the collaboration of Queen's theme, Katie said, why don't we each choose an album cover from the rock band Queen to base our looks on? And I was like, yes, because I love Queen. I've always loved Queen. Queen is one of the most unique rock bands I've ever heard. I mean, if you are familiar with rock music and you know who Queen is, and you hear like the first 3 bars of one of their songs, you immediately know that it's the rock band Queen. I mean, they're just freaking incredible. I love them. And I know that Steph's favorite movie, or maybe one of her favorite movies, is Bohemian Rhapsody, and she's a huge Queen fan too. And obviously so is Katie. So I went on to Google and I started frantically searching for Queen album covers that I could base my look on. And I went with the Flash Gordon soundtrack. Queen did the soundtrack for that movie. And that movie came out in 1980. One of my favorite movies from my childhood. It's still one of my favorite movies. And the soundtrack is absolutely amazing. If you have never seen the movie, I highly recommend checking it out. And if you've never listened to the soundtrack, I really recommend you do so, because it's unlike any other soundtrack I think I've ever heard. It's very unique, very recognizable. And I am so excited to create a look using this palette based on the Flash Gordon album cover. Yes, I can't wait. So if you guys are interested in seeing me create a look using the P. Louise Watch the Queen Conquer palette for my collaboration of queens collab with Steph and Katie, then please sit back, relax, and let's get started. All right, let's get started with this look for my collaboration of queens collab with Steph and Katie. I'm so excited to be using this palette again. I'm so in love with it. Now, all of my face makeup is on. I do have my eyebrows done, and this eyelid is primed in the P. Louise Eyeshadow Base in Rumour 01 that Steph sent me. I figured if I'm gonna use a P. Louise eyeshadow palette, I probably should use their eyeshadow primer as well. And I'm gonna use this side of the palette because I figure this side of the palette makes more sense with the colors that are within the Flash Gordon album cover. And I think what I'll do is start off with this shade right here called Can't Compete and put that in my transition area. And like I said at the beginning, I am a little nervous to be doing this with Katie and Steph because they are very talented, way more talented than I am. So like I say a lot of times when I collab with Steph, you're going to be getting the more sedate look from my video, and you're going to get the whoa, oh my God looks from their videos. So let's go ahead and start putting this down here. Now, I saw Flash Gordon for the first time when I was in the 2nd grade. It came out in 1980. I was in the 1st grade when that movie came out. But my parents did not get HBO until I was in the 2nd grade. And I remember thinking I was so cool that my parents got HBO. I was like, oh my gosh, I am so cool. And I can remember getting up like early on Saturday mornings, and Flash Gordon was always playing for some reason. I don't know. HBO just loved to play Flash Gordon. And I loved that movie. The special effects at that time in that movie were really good. I mean, if you watch it now, I've watched it as an adult several times, and it's pretty cheesy. The acting is super cheesy. I mean, it's kind of funny. But, you know, at that time, I mean, really the only other super sci-fi special effects movie was like, I think Star Wars. And, you know, that was really cool too. But the main thing that was so cool about that movie really was the soundtrack, the Queen soundtrack. It was so good. And if you guys have never heard it, I really do recommend that you take just a few minutes and go sit down, find it on YouTube or Google or whatever, and listen to it because it's really cool. It's really fun. Freddie Mercury's voice was so unique and so amazing, and just the sound of their music was so unique and so amazing. And I really miss Freddie Mercury. It's really sad that he passed away. He was amazing. And I love this shade so much. I don't know that I've used this shade yet in this palette, but it is gorgeous. These shades just blend out so beautifully, and they're just really nice to use. They just work really, really well. Okay, now I think I'm going to go into this shade here. This is called My Turn. Let me grab a brush for that here. The movie Flash Gordon is based on the comic book, of course. I'm sure most of you probably know that. And it was really funny. They picked a guy named Sam Jones to play Flash Gordon in the movie. And he was a professional football player. And I'm pretty sure that Flash Gordon in the comic book is also a professional football player. Isn't that right? I'm pretty sure. And I was so in love with Sam Jones. Oh, he is so cute. And my husband and I actually just watched a documentary about him not very long ago. And he's just a really cool guy. But he has just like white blonde hair in the movie, and it's kind of a shaggy haircut. You know, he's a big guy, you know, football player, really good looking, I thought. Like I said, I had a huge crush on him. And then there's a woman who plays Dale Arden. That's the character's name. I can't remember what her name is in real life. And she's like the newspaper reporter. And then there's the NASA scientist, Hans Zarkov, that's in the movie. And the three of them get sucked into the orbit of planet Mongo, which is, you know, out in the solar system somewhere. There's a lot more to it than that, but I'm just giving you kind of the very brief version, so we're not here for 3 days, because I tend to over-explain things. My husband's always like, cut her down, make a long story short, please. So they end up going to the planet of Mongo, and they come into contact with Emperor Ming, and he is played by Max von Sydow, and he did such a good job in that movie. Like, he is Emperor Ming. I'm gonna go back into Can't Compete and just, you know, blend that out just a little bit. And he's just this evil jerk, and his whole purpose in life is to destroy the universe and take over, like destroy Earth and everything else, I think, in the universe too, which I never understand that. Why would you want to destroy the universe and then take it over? It just sounds really bizarre. Like, it's just going to be like ash and rubble and you're going to rule everything. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. So I'm going to grab this fluffy brush from AliExpress. I love this brush. And I think what I'm going to do is go into, oh, I don't know. Let's go into this one. It's called Stalemate. Oh, and another thing, I'm sure you guys can see, there's these really cute little imprints or embossments. No, they're imprints. No, they're not not embossed, they're imprinted on these shades, and they're just so cool. I love that. And it's always kind of crappy when you use palettes like this because the imprints go away. But you know what? I'm not going to not use this palette. It's amazing. I know I do have that weird thing where I don't want to use palettes, but this one, fortunately, so far, I don't have that problem. So Flash's whole goal in the movie is to stop Emperor Ming from destroying the universe. And not only is the soundtrack super cool and the special effects, but the costumes are really cool. The makeup is really cool. I mean, it's just a really neat kind of just, I don't know. It's kind of campy movie, of course, but it's just a really fun movie because they have all these cool things going on and like visual things to see. It's really neat. Now I'm going to go into, I don't know about shimmer. I think I'm going to use this one called Rumour. It's like this kind of vibrant yellowy gold shade. I'm going to put that across the lid here. And I can just remember as a kid being so like enthralled by everything about that movie. And my husband and I just watched it again, oh, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago. And we were both just kind of cracking up because, you know, it's cheesy. The acting is cheesy. You know, some of the special effects are very cheesy, but at that time, it was just amazing. It was really good. And there's these Vulcan guys that are in this movie. They try to help Flash Gordon defeat Emperor Ming. And they have these huge big wings that come out of their back and like this kind of like, I don't know, leathery type armor that they wear. And the main Vulcan guy is just a badass. I just love him. He's really funny and he's just a great actor. I can't remember what the guy's name is. But when we watched the documentary about Sam Jones, the guy that plays Flash Gordon, several of the actors that were in Flash Gordon are in that documentary. So it was really cool to see them. You know, they're all pretty old now, of course, but it was just really fun to watch them and like listen to them talk about that movie and the making of the movie. It was really neat. Okay, so now I'm going to go into my turn again and just kind of deepen up the outer corner as much as I can with this red. I feel like I've done a lot of red, orange, and yellow looks lately, so I'm not trying to be super repetitive, but that's just the colors that are in the Flash Gordon album cover, so I just kind of had to go with it. Now, I do know which album covers Steph and Katie chose, and you guys are going to love it. I'm not going to give it away, but really different from each other and from mine, and just really cool. And I think I might actually put a little bit of Pursuit down, too, on my finger. I'm going to put that a little bit just kind of on the outer edge here of that shimmer, just to kind of, I don't know, make it a little bit more poppy, I guess. Make it pop a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work, but we're going to try it. That'd be kind of fun. Because the majority of that album is that kind of like bright yellowy gold shade. And these shimmers are just stunning. They're so pretty. Oh my God. And I'm going to use one for my inner corner that I think is my favorite shade in the entire palette. So now I'm going to do my lower waterline, and I am going to be using a black eyeliner in my lower waterline, and I typically don't do that because I feel like it kind of makes me look a little harsh, but I don't know, there's some black in the album cover, so I figured why not? Let's go ahead and use a black eyeliner. And this is by Trestique. This is just like a retractable eyeliner from that brand, and I don't really know anything about that brand. I got this, I think, in an Ipsy, maybe a BoxyCharm a while ago. It's a really nice waterline liner because it stays in your waterline forever. I love it until you like go to wash your face. It's still there. I love it. I think actually I'm going to put it in my upper waterline as well. Why not? And I kind of feel like this is appropriate too, because if you watch the movie Flash Gordon, they have a lot of eyeliner going on. Like Emperor Ming, he's got this like really thick black eyeliner around his eyes. He looks very evil, but so cool. I just totally dig his whole vibe. I mean, though he's an evil jerk, I just think he looks really cool. He's like completely bald, has crazy black eyeliner on. I just love that guy, even though he's trying to destroy my whole planet. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, let's go into Sacrifice, this darker orange shade. I'm going to put that in my, across my lower lash line, not in my lash line, across the lash line. I just feel like they don't make movies like Flash Gordon anymore. I mean, yes, they do have the Marvel movies, and there's a lot of like superhero movies that are made all the time. But I don't know. I think a lot of it was just because it was so new back then, you know, like they really weren't making a ton of movies like that. So it just really like, I don't know, made more of an impression upon me because, you know, I was so young. I was like, what, 7 years old when I saw that movie for the first time, which seems like a lifetime ago. And so, you know, now you're just kind of used to seeing special effects and stuff like that. It makes me kind of sad for my kids because they just really don't have that same kind of like awe and wonder about movies like I did when I was a kid, because, you know, they started seeing that stuff basically when they were, you know, right out of the womb. So now I'm going to deepen that up with, should I just use my turn or should I use one of these darker shades? You know what, I'm going to go into this shade. This is called Opposition. This is kind of a brownish red. I just think that would look kind of cool in the lower lash line here. and just kind of make that a little deeper, darker out here a little bit. And I cannot wait to use the inner corner shade because it is absolutely amazing. I'd seen this palette used before, of course, on YouTube. I think actually Katie and Steph have both used this palette before on their channels, I'm pretty sure. And just blown away by it. But you know, cheap old me, I go onto the website and I say how much it costs. I'm like, no, I think I'll pass on that. And so when Danielle did this for me, I know I've said it probably 400 times by now, but it was just so, I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. It's just a beautiful palette. And I think what I'm actually going to do too is I'm going to put this on the upper lid as well. Why not? And that way I don't have to dig through my liner mug to try to find a liquid liner. I'm really trying hard to give the Ciate Fierce Flicks, whatever, a break because I use it all the time. You guys are like, yeah, we know. We see it every video. I love it, but you know, I want to try to do other things in my videos too, besides just use the same thing every time. And now I'm going to go into the inner corner shade that I've been dying to put on my lid this entire time. And that is this shade right here called Victory. It is so beautiful. It's very unique, very different. It's a gold shade, but it's kind of got some, I don't know, other colors of reflex in here. Maybe like a little bit of, I don't know, green, orange, a bunch of different things. And I just love it. And I am going to spray this just a little bit because it's not really flaky. I guess it's kind of flaky. I don't know. I just don't want to get it everywhere. I just want to try to keep it very contained to the inner corner here. And it's just stunning. It's just like, whoa. Now I'm also going to put that a little bit under my brow, on my brow bone here, just a little bit of that. Just kind of brighten that area up a little bit. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Beautiful. So I'm pretty much done with this eye look. I love it. I love this palette so much. I could sit here for 5 days and go on and on and on about how much I love this palette, but we got to wrap this video up. So I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to clean things up a little bit. I mean, I got a little teeny tiny bit of fallout, but really not very much. I will do the other eye and I'll come back and show you how everything came together. So don't move a muscle. I am back and this is the finished look. I love how this look turned out, but you know what? I did take a peek at the Flash Gordon album cover again before I sat down to film the outro here. And I do kind of feel like I didn't use enough yellow because that album cover is pretty yellow heavy. I don't know. If I could do it over again, I probably would have gone more yellow in nature, but you know what? I can't turn around and do anything differently now. I do like the look. I just wish I'd used a little bit more yellow in it. Before I talk about the eyeshadow palette again, I did want to talk about a couple things I used in my finished look. For my lipstick, I used the Beauty Vault liquid lipstick in the shade Natty Nat. I really like the shade of this liquid lipstick, but I don't like the formula. I kind of forgot about that. I was putting it on, I was like, oh, that's why I don't use this very often, because it's kind of sticky, makes my lips look a little dried out. I usually put a little bit of gloss over the top of this, but you know what? I just sat down, hit record, and I was like, oh, wait, I'm not going to start over again. It's nice. It's just not my favorite liquid lipstick that I have in my collection. And then for my mascara, I use the Voluminous Butterfly Mascara in the shade Black from L'Oreal Paris. And I got this for my L'Oreal collab, my Full Face of L'Oreal makeup collab with Dion from Dion Loves Makeup. And I've been using this ever since I got it. It's really a nice mascara. The wand's a little weird, but I love it. It applies my mascara so nicely, and I think it makes my lashes look very nice. Okay, so let's talk about the eyeshadow palette again. This is the Watch the Queen Conquer palette by P. Louise that I used in my collab video today. And I could just kiss Danielle's face off for getting this for me. This is such an amazing palette, the nicest quality. I really do believe that this is now my favorite palette in my collection. I just am madly in love with it. So the shades that I used to create this look are, I used Can't Compete in my transition area. I use this shade called My Turn and my outer V into my transition area. I use this shade here called Stalemate to blend out the transition shade. I use this shade here called Victory in my inner corner and then underneath my brow. Oh my God. That shade is life-altering. It's so beautiful. I really do think it's my favorite shade in this palette. Then I use this shade here called Sacrifice on my lower lash line. I use this shade here called, what is this? Opposition to line my lids. And then I used a combination of Pursuit and, let's see, Ruler on my lid. And, you know, that kind of gave me the yellow component, but I still feel like I could have used maybe this shade. I don't know. I just kind of went a little bit overboard with the oranges and the reds, but there is orange and red in the album cover, so calm down. It's going to be okay. I just love this palette. I know I've said that like 5,000 times. You guys are like, yes, we get it. I just know that I never would have picked this up on my own. So the fact that Danielle sent this to me for my birthday, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you say thank you for something like that. This is just such a beautiful palette. It's such a beautiful gift, and she is such a beautiful friend. And I really do want to use the other side of this palette at some point in a video on my channel. Kind of feel like I'm neglecting the other side in this video, but this side was really the side that I needed to use in order to match the colors that are in the Flash Gordon album cover. I really recommend, if you guys don't have this palette, I don't like to force things down people's throats, but if you don't have this palette and you like this look and you like Katie's look and Steph's look, which I know you're going to, you might want to look into getting this palette. It's worth the money. It really is. And that's something I have to remember. Sometimes I get really caught up in how cheap palettes are and I want to get 5,000 palettes. When if I just invested the money into a really good palette, I'd probably be a lot happier. I'm so happy that Katie asked us to do this collab with her. I've wanted to collab with Katie for a really long time. Katie is my schmoopsy poo. That's what I call her. I know that's kind of nauseating, but I don't care. I have reckless abandon when it comes to Katie. And I love Steph, of course, too. You guys know how much I love Steph. I've collabed with Steph multiple times. She is my sister from another mister. I loved every second of this, and I hope that we're able to do this again sometime. Of course, I'm going to have Katie's channel and Steph's channel linked in my description box. You guys need to go to their channels if you haven't already and subscribe and watch their videos. You are going to fall in love with them as people and also as creators. You're going to learn a ton about how to apply your eyeshadows and have it look absolutely amazing. I know I've got a lot more to keep learning from both of them in my life to get to the level that they're at. I don't know that I'll ever get to that level, but they're just really awesome people. And I'm just so happy that I have them in my life. And my big dream at some point in my life is to meet Steph and Katie in person. Now, Katie lives in Montana. I live in Oregon. So it's pretty feasible for the two of us to meet each other. I really think. What would be really awesome is if we were able to meet up and then hop on a plane and head over to the UK to meet Steph. That would be so awesome. I cannot wait to watch Katie and Steph's videos. I know I'm going to love their looks. This was just such a fun idea to use Queen rock album covers for our collab video today and to use this amazing palette. And I hope you guys really like the look that I put together. And I'd love to hear about it in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And also let me know if you have this palette and what you think of it, because I am madly in love with it. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your busy day or evening to sit down and watch my video. It always means the world to me. If you have subscribed or you would like to subscribe, do not forget to hit the notification bell. That way you're aware of all of my future uploads. I cannot wait to see you guys again on my next video, but in the meantime, please take care of yourself, be well, safe, happy, and I hope to see you very soon. Thanks again, you guys. Take care. Bye.
Drop it.